Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. So excited to be with you and share the news with you. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to start with a video. I know we're not fans of Kevin McCarthy, but you need to hear this. I'm going to jump right into that. And then I've pulled a bunch of clips of Joe Biden from yesterday. Also, some old clips of Barack Obama, some mainstream media meltdown. People, we are winning because Joe Biden opened his mouth. It is unreal how bad it is, how bad the dementia is, how bad his anger issues are. It's wild stuff. So check this out from Kevin McCarthy. Here we go.
Not negotiate the debt ceiling with Biden. I could not negotiate the debt ceiling with Biden.
What do you mean? Explain that.
He talked from cards. I'll give you a couple examples. If I wanted to talk work requirements, if I wanted to talk what we would cut, if I wanted to talk NEPA reform, if I want to talk, if it's not on the card, we're not talking about it.
If it's not on the card, people, we're not talking about it. He can't. It has to be on the cards. This is so wild. This is Joe Biden. And so last night, I don't know why this happened. I honestly, I don't know why they allowed him to go out there unless they're really trying to go forward with this 25th Amendment stuff. But I know people, I actually believe this was Joe Biden's call last night. And he went out there thinking he was going to do all right. It went bad, but I want to remind you of what's really going on. So watch this video clip first.
Do you wish like you had a third term? And I used to say, you know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. Wow. I'd be fine with that.
Well, I don't know if he's so fine with it anymore, considering who he's got there. Although Joe Biden is kind of the perfect tool. I mean, he doesn't know enough to know what's going on, and so he'll probably just do what they say. Do me a quick favor, smash that like, chat in with where you are from. And I want to mention my sponsor really quickly. That's right, Midas Gold Group, where you can get gold, you can get silver, other precious metals. You can call them at 480-360-3000, people. Yeah, go check them out. Text Lumberjack to 232425, and you can receive free silver with a qualifying order. I'll put that up right there for you. So let's get into Joe Biden from last night, because this is absolutely wild. And I've got some... I mean, the DC establishment really is in panic. And so if you think this is all planned, I really think this one is not. And you're going to be able to watch this. I don't know how they always let, who allowed this man? I mean, because obviously somebody is his handler there at the White House. How did this happen? I just don't get it. Here we go.
The conduct of the response.
Okay, just watch his face. Watch his whole body motions. Look at him. Look at him right there, even where I froze it. He's looking down, and he's like, this reminds me, I mean, I've gone and seen people who are suffering from memory loss, and people, I don't wish this on anyone. I'm honest. I do not wish memory loss issues on anyone. I want everybody to come to the redeeming knowledge of Christ Jesus, because that is their only hope. And ultimately, it's really our only hope as a nation. But look at this. This is what a display. Did I mention? Yeah, look at all you people on from all over the place, Greenville, Ohio, and so on. But I know he's reading a script. He can't read this script. I mean, somebody commented he's reading a script. I know, but he can't read it. He's trying. This is nuts. This is nuts. Smash that like if you would, please. Keep chatting.
In the Gaza Strip has been over the top. I think that, as you know, initially the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in. I talked to him. I convinced him to open the gate. I talked to Bibi to open the gate on the Israeli side.
No, this is nuts. Think about, okay, he doesn't even know who these world leaders are. He's realigned the whole map. It's Mexico's border now. I know Mexico border is an issue, Joe, but it's not for the people in Gaza. This is nuts. I got a super chat here. I got to acknowledge $50. How is it true Her was appointed by President Trump and was later selected to join from Garland? I don't know. I know that Her was appointed by Trump. So, and this, sadly, I mean, we can look at a lot of Trump's appointees and they weren't so great. And I think I shared a video the other day, well, just yesterday, with Hillary Clinton in it. You might want to check that one out. But if you haven't already, but you will see her admissions in that video are really quite startling. They are so freaked out about a second Trump term because, look, they know what they would do, and we don't have to wonder what they would do to Donald Trump because they're already doing it. So when they have the power, we don't need to wonder what they would do because they're already doing what they would do. So they automatically assume that Trump would do the same thing to them. Probably needs to happen, but that's why they're freaking out so bad. So again, thanks for the question, Harlow, and thanks for that super chat. Let's go on to the next stage of this. I've got this all in clips. I was trying to download the whole thing last night. My internet was failing, but I've got the clips here and the most important ones.
Something the special counsel said in his report is that one of the reasons you were not charged is because, in his description, you are a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president. I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation. It's totally out.
How bad is your memory, and can you continue as president?
My memory is so bad, I let you speak. That's what.
He just admitted his memory was bad. He didn't even remember who Peter Doocy is. I love Peter Doocy. By the way, I did do a video yesterday. It's got no distribution. I'd love it if you could go find that and watch it for me. It was Karine Jean-Pierre and Peter Doocy, and I think it was Peter Doocy's finest moment. So you can go to the channel page, check out. It's going to be one of the last few videos up there. It is solid gold, and it just never took off, but I'd love for you to see it because it's so good. Anyways, let's keep going here.
Gotten worse, Mr. President?
My memory is not good. My memory is fine. My memory, take a look at what I've done since I've become president.
We've taken a look at what he's done since he's become president. All of America's taken a look at what Joe has done since he's become president. That's the issue, Joe. See, we can see what you've done since you become president. Inflation, border, crime, endless wars. We can see it all, Joe. He's just, this was absolutely cataclysmic, folks. This was so bad for them. It's unbelievable.
You thought I could pass any of the things I got passed. How'd that happen? I guess I just forgot what was going on.
Mr. President.
This is so wild to watch, people. It's so wild to watch. I just
talking and Sarah.
Oh, shoot, it went backwards on me. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm going to bring this up forward. I need a producer.
By sort of being dismissive of.
Okay, here we go.
My memory is not good. My memory is fine.
Your memory is
fine. My memory, take a look at what I've done since I've become president. None of you thought I could pass any of the things I...
Okay, I'll let him be quiet. The video, I can't... StreamYard is kind of funny how you interface with videos, but Joe is failing in a major way, and they were melting down on CNN about it. I want you to watch this clip. It's something else to see.
I don't think the president did himself any favors in that speech. He undercut two of his biggest messages. The adults are back in charge by sort of being dismissive of, yes, he was exonerated. He's not going to be convicted or tried for this, but there's some really damning pieces of information in here. He had deliberations around Afghan war plans with him. He spoke to a biographer about classified documents who didn't have clearance. This showed a decent level of reckless mishandling of classified information.
He said in that he didn't.
He said that he didn't.
Yeah, he said he didn't, folks. So, that must be the case. I mean, if Joe Biden says that he didn't, well, holy cats, this is where it's at. This is that lady. She's on The View. I can't even remember her name right now. I'm sure somebody in the chat knows her name. I really don't pay too much attention to their names. I just watch what they say and I think, wow, this is crazy. But she's the conservative on The View, and she's obviously not conservative. She probably likes Nikki Haley for all I know.
So I think there was a dismissiveness to the seriousness of this. And then on the other hand, they were using this bizarre line to say he stepped away from an international crisis, the biggest attack on our ally Israel since the Holocaust, to go deal with a self-inflicted investigation by the Department of Justice. How is that supposed to inspire confidence?
It doesn't inspire any confidence. Think about this. We're talking about, okay, he's saying, oh, this investigation by the Justice Department, I had to step away and deal with that while I'm in the middle of an international crisis, so I didn't answer my questions correctly. What? You're the president of the United States of America. You're supposed to be more competent than me. I'm just going to tell you, people, right now, and this isn't to brag, because maybe you could too. I could do a better job as president than Joe Biden. I'm going to say that unequivocally, clearly, without a doubt and without any bragging, because the bar is so low that I could do a better job.
I don't know why he went back out. He already said most of this in Virginia today, but this is becoming a 5-alarm fire for the White House.
Mexico? Where did that come from? I mean, that's the only thing anyone's going to remember from this.
Mexico? Where did that come from? People, they are freaking out. Don't freak out, freak in. It's just hilarious to watch. I mean, it pisses me off, yes, but don't worry, folks. I've got my joy back today because I realize I was so mad yesterday. I really was, because I do get tired of it all, but they continue to out themselves. They just continue to out themselves. And Trump is winning big as a result of this. And I'll be honest, Trump's his own worst enemy at sometimes. I mean, he's the guy I want to win, but sometimes he just says things without a filter that he could probably do better that get used against him. I just, whatever. I mean, it's what he does. I'm fine. I mean, because that's the guy I want. I'm not so concerned about Trump's personal disputes as I am the nature of the country, or the fact that he's right on the issues. But I wish sometimes maybe you'd say less. Like the whole thing with LeBron James. I don't know if you guys remember this. I mean, he gets into this big tiff on Twitter with LeBron James. LeBron James isn't even important to politics. Who cares what LeBron says? Just ignore it, and then it becomes no story. Anyways, whatever. But Joe's doing Trump the biggest favors known to man. I'm telling you, this is wild.
The U.S. dollar.
Oh, so this one, I want you to watch this. This is actually from the Putin interview. And I've mentioned some of this before, but this is, here, I'm going to add this back in. I forgot where I was at. So he's talking about the U.S. dollar here. Tucker Carlson's talking about the U.S. dollar with Putin. And listen to what Putin says. This is so wild. I mean, one thing you have to understand is I watched the Tucker Carlson, Vladimir Putin interview, and I'm seeing that the guy they're all telling us to hate, and he is. I mean, it is a dictatorship in Russia. I mean, they don't try and make Russia something it isn't. That being said, he's very lucid, and he's a very smart guy. And he did a 2-hour unscripted interview, having answer questions. And some of these questions by Tucker were very tough. I don't know if you guys saw the end of that interview. And I don't even want to share too much of Tucker's interview, because I actually want you to go support Tucker and watch the interview on tuckercarlson.com or on X. My X handle is down below. I follow Tucker. If you're having trouble finding it, you can just go to my follows and you can find it there. But I think we need to support this kind of thing. So I don't want to steal Tucker's thunder too much, because I want to. People, I just pulled this up. You're not going to believe this. Well, you probably will, but this is wild. So far, the Tucker Carlson interview with Vladimir Putin, 124 point. Let me just see here. I'm going to refresh it. No, it's up to 126 now. 126.3 million views. 126.3 million views Tucker Carlson has had on this interview. Now, that does not include all the reposts, all the clipped edits of this interview. How many people have actually seen this? Okay, so here we go. We're gonna pop this back in. Volume's going. Okay, so check out what Putin has to say here.
Kind of united the world in a lot of ways, maybe not.
Okay,
Come from. I mean,
The U.S. dollar, which has kind of united the world in a lot of ways, maybe not to your advantage, but certainly to ours. Is that going away as the reserve currency, the universally accepted currency? How have sanctions, do you think, changed the dollar's place in the world?
You know, to use the dollar as a tool of foreign policy struggle is one of the biggest strategic mistakes made by the U.S. political leadership. The dollar is the cornerstone of the United States power, but they won't stop printing. What does the debt of $33 trillion tell us about? As soon as the political leadership decided to use the US dollar as a tool of political struggle, a blow was dealt to this American power. I would not like to use any strong language, but it is a stupid thing to do and a grave mistake. Look at what is going on in the world. Even the United States allies are now downsizers. Seeing this, everyone starts looking for ways to protect themselves. But the fact that the United States applies restrictive measures to certain countries, such as placing restrictions on transactions, freezing assets, etc., causes grave concern and sends a signal to the whole world. Do you even realize what is going on or not? Does anyone in the United States realize this? What are you doing? You are cutting yourself off. All experts say this. Ask any intelligent and thinking person in the United States what the dollar means for the US. You're killing it with your own hands.
He nails it. I mean, they're killing that. I mean, the US dollar being the reserve currency of the world, the currency, it is the oil dollar. Okay. It's what oil transactions had been settled in. Now we have the realignment of the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and now these Middle Eastern countries are joining the BRICS as well. People, I know I mentioned my sponsor, but go get yourself some real money. Russia saved its currency, okay, with gold. That's how they did it. We were trying to destroy the ruble. The ruble, backed by gold, can't be destroyed so easily. You don't think that the American dollar can vanish like that? I'm not telling you not to keep cash on hand, because that is the currency we trade in. You have to, okay? No good person with finance would say, get rid of all your cash and just get gold and silver. Okay, you have to be able to go around and buy stuff and do things. And but this come heck or high water, this is always worth something. And with Midas Gold Group, they're good guys. You know, I interviewed, it took me a couple months to sign that deal with them. Okay. And I checked them out. I had offers from actually I had another offer from a different gold and silver company that would have paid significantly more. Okay. But I want you to, you know, I want my sponsors to somehow, and I could always get it wrong, but I just want them to be good. You know, like Mike Lindell, My Pillow. I know Mike's going to be good. Okay. So you can text Lumberjack to 232425 and receive free silver with qualifying order, or call them at 480-360-3000. You can also visit their website, but a great place to get gold and silver. So let's get on to the rest of the show here. This is one of the wildest clips, people. Just watch this. Watch how he handles this. This is an angry man. I've heard too that with dementia, like the sudden outbursts of anger, that's part of the what do I want to say? The symptoms of it.
Mr. President, for months when you were asked about your age, you would respond with the words, watch me. Many American people have been watching, and they have expressed concerns about your age.
That is your judgment. That is your judgment. That is not the judgment of the press.
They express concerns about your mental acuity. They say that you are too old. Mr. President, in December,
She is the press. Not only is she the press, people, she is a liberal reporter. This lady, I've watched her. She is a liberal.
Told me that you believe there are many other Democrats who could defeat Donald Trump. So why does it have to be you now? What is your answer to that question?
Because I'm the most qualified person in this country to be president of the United States and finish the job I started.
Why are you
I did not share classified information. I did not share it.
With your ghostwriter?
With my ghostwriter, I did not. Guarantee you did not.
But the special counsel said in the
no,
report
he
that he
did
did.
not say that.
Okay.
He did not say that.
But Mr. President, one other...
Let me answer your question.
Get him.
The fact of the matter is, what I didn't want repeated, I didn't want him to know, and I didn't read it to him, was I had written a long memorandum to President Obama why we should not be in Afghanistan. And I was of this multiple pages. And so what I was referring to, I said classified. I should have said should be private because it was a contact between the president and the vice president as to what was going on. That's what he was referring to. It was not classified information in that document. That was not classified.
He called on me.
He called on me. Can you imagine having to be around that press corps out in Washington, D.C.? He called on me. Did you hear the guy even sounds like I'm sorry. He sounds a little limp. Let me just say that. And he called on me. He called on me. This is the press corps in Washington, D.C., but he is getting questioned. He is so upset, man, with these people. I mean, because they're not towing the line. They're not towing the line. I'm going to let this just get forward to the next clip. But to me, of all these clips that I'm sharing with you, that was one of the most telling, watching his sudden outburst of anger. People, I just shared, I'm going to share it again. Remember I mentioned that video about Peter Doocy? I'm going to share it again here in the chat. If you could do me a favor, this video, I'd really like to, I just shared it there. I'll share it again. But please share this video around. Watch it yourself. Like I said, it just didn't take off, but I think it was one of Peter Doocy's best takedowns of Karine Jean-Pierre I'd ever seen. And I think the way she responds is startling enough that everybody needs to see it. So if you would, please share that around and watch it yourself. Give it a like, all that kind of stuff. Thank you, and comment, whatever. Just help get it out. But here, let's go to the next clip.
Classified material.
I take responsibility for not having seen exactly what my staff was doing.
Okay, so she just asked him about responsibility for classified material, and his answer was to put that back on his staff. I thought this was the buck stops here guy. The buck stops here. The buck stops here, folks. I mean, remember, President Trump couldn't dodge his responsibilities. The buck stops with the president. And here he just blames it on his people. No, well, hold on.
It goes in and points out things that appeared in my garage, things that came out of my home, things that were moved not by me, but my staff.
Not by him, folks, but his staff. His staff. Here, I want you to watch when he first came out. I was actually going to put this at the beginning, and I goofed it up. But just watch his confusion just when he comes out.
Hey, buddy.
Look at his walk. Look how he walks. He can't.
Let me say a few things before I take your questions. As you know, the special counsel released his findings today about their look into my handling of classified documents. I was pleased to see he reached a firm conclusion that no charges should be brought against me in this case.
Firm.
This was an exhaustive investigation going back more than 40 years, even into the 1970s when I was still a new United States Senator. The special counsel acknowledged I cooperated completely. I did not throw up any roadblocks. I sought no delays. In fact, I was so determined to give the special counsel what he needed, I went forward with a 5-hour in-person interview over 2 days on October the 8th and 9th of last year, even though Israel had just been attacked by Hamas on the 7th, and I was very occupied.
Very occupied.
I was in the middle of handling an international crisis. I was especially pleased to see special counsel make clear the stark distinction and difference between this case and Mr. Trump's case. The special counsel wrote, and I quote, "Several material distinctions between Mr. Trump's case and Mr. Biden's are clear." Continue.
Okay. Here we go. I'm going to tell you about the clear distinctions. Listen to this. On March 18th, 2021, Annie Tomasini Tomasini, assistant to the president, senior advisor to the president, and director of Oval Office operation, suddenly went to the Penn Biden Center to take inventory of President Biden's documents and material nearly 20 months before the officially acknowledged timeline began. As Jonathan Turley pointed out, Tomasini was one of the closest aides to Biden and close friend to Hunter Biden. So yes, people, there's some very stark material differences between Joe Biden and Donald Trump here. Nor was Tomasini the only Biden official to visit the Penn Biden Center to examine Biden's documents. The Oversight Committee alleges that the Biden camp omitted months of communications, planning, and coordinating among multiple White House officials from their timeline of events. These officials included Kathy Chung, Penn Biden Center employees, and President Biden's personal attorneys who were sent to retrieve the boxes containing classified materials. The timeline from the Biden camp also omitted multiple visits from at least 5 White House employees, including the previously mentioned Dana Remus and Tomasini, along with Anthony Burnell, Ashley Williams, and an unknown staffer. These visits took place in May, June, and October of 2022 to access and secure what were purportedly personal items of President Biden at Penn Center. More importantly, no one knows where these documents are or what was actually in them. Did you catch what I just said? Yeah, there's real freaking material differences between the Trump and Biden scenario. Don't tell me you cooperated with the FBI. Don't tell me you cooperate with the Department of Justice and you were just like this shining light. Right here, we can see this. Okay. Let me go back to this. To date, the White House has not disclosed what was in the boxes Ms. Williams retrieved or where they were delivered. Let me repeat that. To date, the White House has not disclosed what was in the boxes Ms. Williams retrieved or where they were delivered. And they're going after Trump. Do you remember that it took a semi to get the documents Joe Biden had? Gosh. And then they tried to say that Trump's were nuclear secrets. Remember how that got leaked and it wasn't even true? Like everything you hear in the press, people, is 100% lies. This is why, like, when we hear things, you just have to I mean, there are things that the press covers that are true, but I'm talking about like when it's something about Trump and how bad he is, it's a lie. Additionally, on the same day, the Biden lawyers alerted the National Archives to the existence of classified documents at the Penn Biden Center. Pat Moore, President Biden's personal attorney, scheduled a FedEx pickup with Penn Biden Center employees. According to Comer, a FedEx worker showed up at Penn Biden Center on November 2nd, 2022 to load documents and ship them out. In understated fashion, Comer said that he finds it troublesome that boxes of documents were potentially removed from the Penn Biden Center prior to NARA's arrival and assessment. But it gets worse. In January 2023, President Biden's personal attorney, Bob Bauer, released a statement that included a timeline of events that inexplicably began on November 2nd, 2022, with the unexpected discovery of Obama-Biden records at the Penn Biden Center. The timeline from Bauer and Biden was incomplete and misleading. It omitted months of communications, planning, and coordinating among the multiple White House officials, Ms. Chung, Penn Biden Center employees, and President Biden's personal attorneys to retrieve the boxes containing classified materials. Bauer's timeline also failed to disclose the FedEx pickup that happened on the morning of November 2nd. Yet another Biden government cover-up, done as Trump is being prosecuted by Biden's DOJ for what are likely lesser offenses. So, the beautiful thing about all of this is as this continues to get outed and Biden continues to do these types of things and make a fool out of himself and go on the cameras when he shouldn't be, Donald Trump continues to rise in the polls. And at some point, that lead is insurmountable, even utilizing every available tool they have, their Zuckerbucks, their Dropbox stuffing, all of it. At some point, there's not enough people on the rolls, not enough inaccurate people on the rolls so they can create a paper trail. Do you guys get what I'm saying here? Yes, if you do, no, if you don't. Okay. Is it, I, I mean, I don't think people understand. You know, I know a lot of my audience does, so I'm not talking about you. So don't try to defend yourself, okay? There's still so many people out there that do not understand what has occurred the last few years in this nation, and really ever since the Obama timeframe, because that's when this all began. People, they need you divided. They need you divided so badly. I mean, they need you hating Jews, hating blacks, hating this, hating that. They need you hating anybody, hating Hispanics, whatever. Okay. Don't do it. Don't fall for the trap. We need, as a people, to be united against tyranny. See, because right now people are either for freedom or they're for tyranny. That's the dividing line. Okay. That's the things we can unite on. And this is why I've been so hard on everybody who slammed all the DeSantis supporters. I know some of them. They are good, well-intentioned people. They just saw a different path than you do. Stop making them the enemy. I see this stuff all over social media all the time. And I know some of it's from bots because they're trying to sow the division and stoke the fires, okay, because they can't stand a united populace. But some of them are from real people. And it is really sad to see people falling prey to this crap. I don't care if somebody's from India. I don't care if they're from Russia. I don't care if they're from Mexico. I don't care if they're from Spain. I don't care if they're from Africa. I don't care what their background and nationality is. If they embrace the American cause of liberty, they are on the team. Okay? And we just cannot fall prey to this. And I see this. It just blows my ever-loving mind. All the Jew hate out there right now. Like, what is that all about? God help us all. Oh, Father God, in the name of Jesus Christ, unite us. Unite us, Lord. God, we need your healing touch on this land in a major way, Jesus. Bring us together. Show us the corruption. And cause us to come together as one to defeat this tyrannical BS. Oh, in Jesus' name, amen. I just don't think people fully get it. And then they try to they still think it's Democrat Republican. Are you kidding me? We just had, what was the vote yesterday, people? What was the vote? See if I can find it. Oh, I'll find it for you here quick. Just give me a second. Here, I'll get you the vote yesterday. This is drives me nuts. I'm sorry. Stuff just drives me nuts. We need to be together on this. Okay. I know how many Republicans crossed over to vote on sending our money over to Ukraine and Israel. The vote was 60 some, 30 some to advance it, to break the filibuster. Did we just get a 9-0 decision out of the Supreme Court? Hold on. Oh, no. I don't think they came back yet. That was just another thing I saw. But we had Republican senators cross the line to bring to floor vote the straight let's fund Ukraine and Israel in perpetuity. Here it is. Yesterday was the most epic day of news in our lifetimes by a landslide. Not to say that there hasn't been bigger individual events on a given day, but as a whole, the whole of the news, nothing comes close. It's so true. I mean, between the Putin interview, everything that's going on. And, you know, one of the things that I find fascinating is trying to get the news out to people. And maybe you guys can help me with this. I know a lot of you share my content because I see the stats on that. But so much of what people want to watch is political entertainment. And I get the fact that we need to mock the left. I am totally down with that. And I've done that. and people like those videos. But YouTube is a game of titles and thumbnails. And so if, like, for a lot of you, you don't even see a lot of my content because you're not subscribed and you don't have notifications on. And so what you see is the content that really takes off. But sometimes the content that takes off isn't the best content I produce, because the hard news stories, the best news stories, are oftentimes what doesn't take off. So please make sure you're subscribed, and just check your subscriptions pages to your people putting out good news, and do that. But anyways, I don't want to. I'm kind of wandering here, but I got so off track with the whole plea for unity with you people, because we need it, and I hope you guys get that. I hope all of you get that. It's so important. It's so imperative. So yeah, please support my sponsors. My Pillow. These right now, these are half price. This is the My Pillow 2.0. This is the pillow I use. I get it. I think I get medium. This is queen size pillow. I don't like the big king size pillows. I just get queen, but I believe these are medium is what I get. You can get, they have different, I don't like a pillow that's too firm, too full of stuff. And I don't like one that's got nothing. So I just get a medium. Roberta Jansen says, Neil, you are always so informative and truthful. I depend on your videos for a lot of news. Thank you for standing. Thank you. Thank you. Zog, Tucker has copyright attorneys, apparently. Yeah, the whole thing, like, people were streaming. I would never do that. I wouldn't just restream Tucker's interview. You got to be kidding me. Do you know how much time and effort and money is put into producing an interview like that? He's got a whole film crew with him. He's flying over to Russia. He's got to work out things with State Department and visas to get into the country. And now he's facing travel bans from Europe. He puts it all on the line to do that. He's got the ability to do that. I don't. I'm not going to restream his content. I wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't. It's just not something I'm going to do. I mean, I will comment on it. I will take clips of it and comment on it. But I just really want people to go out and watch that whole interview on X or on Tucker Carlson Network, because he deserves that. He deserves that for what he does. Do you guys get that? I mean, it's like, I'm not going to sit there and burn pirated copies of movies. If the movie, especially, and I can understand people saying, well, I don't want to support woke people with the, well, then don't watch the movies at all. Understand that people's intellectual property is their intellectual property. All right. I mean, don't expect somebody not to get a copyright strike from that. I was on a stream yesterday and they got a copyright strike. It just popped up, and I didn't even know that. I just saw Tucker Carlson interview. I clicked on it, but I now, and then I remembered, oh yeah, he's only doing this on X and Tucker Carlson Network at the launch. So anyways, I love y'all. Keep fighting the good fight. Please support the sponsor. All the links are below in the description. I've got some affiliate links down there. Thanks to all of you. I love y'all. Peace out.